The last session we spoke about reports and the printing, right? We spoke about the types of report that we have. We spoke about the tabular report, columnar report, and the hierarchical report. Tabular report is nothing but the regular standard fixed number of columns report that we did. Columnar report is the report that has multiple columns involved in it, which could be a dynamic column. And then we have the drill down report or the hierarchy report that we generally have. So a tabular report has a report title, the report details, and the report totals. So what we did last time is we created this report, display commission. This is the report that we created last time. The only thing we haven't added is the bottom line for the totals. So let us add a bottom line to the totals. So this is my title line, this is my body title, this is my entire body, and here we will have our bottom line. Total line. So we have line and the total line. At this we will try to get the total of this amount that we have, and then based on that we'll calculate the commission as per the commission we have provided for this particular agent over his sale. So I require 3 lines, 1 line that gives me the voucher totals, 1 line that will bring me the commission percent, and the 3rd line that will bring us the commission amount. And we will have 2 fields for each line. So line first, I will have the VCH grand total. Then next line I will have TSPL VCH agent commission. And the final line commission amount. Clear? Why are we having 3 lines? I need to have a part at the bottom. This is nothing but my bottom line. In this bottom line, 1 line I need the total of my vouchers. 1 line I require the commission percent of my agent, and the last line I will get the commission amount. Fair enough? Everybody understood? Is this clear why we have 3 lines at a total line? Great. So now I will have line. The first line, we will have 2 fields, 2 right fields, okay? One would be the name field, and the other field will be for the grand total. Then localize my name field, or rather let us use something called as long from. And at this field, I need the total of my vouchers that I have for this particular agent. I need the entire total, basically the total, right? So first of all, whenever you need a total of any value, one, it has to be either a type amount or type quantity or type number. So in our case, it's type amount, so we say use amount field. Now you need the total of it, right? So you say set as. But you need a total of it, right? So you will have to basically, what you see on your screen is what should get totaled up, correct? So this particular field, we will say $, total, which this field. And the same thing you need to mention at the part level, that you need to total the field. So there are two things. One, you need to mention the field detail at the part level that you want to total, because there would be multiple lines and there would be fields, multiple fields to it. So please note, when you want to use this total attribute, the lines of this bottom and top has to be within the same part. You cannot have it in two different parts. Okay, so let us have a look. So currently I'm just having one line added, and we'll just have a look how is the output. Yeah. See? Can you see? I am getting my total at the bottom. Can you see this? Correct. And yes, at this particular line, I will need to have my border to make it look neater. Or we have something called as a border called grand total or total. Right. See, we have a border called total. So I'll use that to make it look neater. Who is unmuted? Please mute yourself. So display. So this is my grand total.
That's right. interested to. Okay. Okay. What I do, I'll ask one of my partners to speak to you. Well, we have three centers. One is in Malad, another one is in Dhaka, and third one is in Vashi. So which one would be spending your time?
Now we'll bring the commission agent line. So are you clear how we bought the totals, right?
I have all the courses available right from Tally, volume.
You clear how we bought the totals? So one, at part level, you need to make use the attribute called total and the field value, which is of amount type.
Share your contact.
Along with that, at the bottom line that I have, its field such as should have $, total the field name. Right? Clear, everybody? So now I'll have another line. At this line, I will get my commission percentage. Now, how can I get my commission percentage? Can anybody tell me? $AC per. And where is $AC per? Is it with the current context of my object? First of all, this current line does not have an object context. So, I do not have a percentage sort of thing right now. I mean, the current line does not have an object context. So, $AC per will give me no output. So, how do we do that? Variable. Why variable? Why will we call variable here? Think. Think fast.
Hello. Hello, Mr. Master.
Think fast. We have done this. Okay. Let us just rethink on what we have done. Ali, you said that there is a method called AC per, correct? Which object does this method lie? Which object AC per lies? Which object? Absolutely right. Company object. Which company? #SV current company. Dot. The particular method that we spoke about, AC per. Right? Storage. Does it lie directly under company object, or is it under some other object? Is it directly under company object, or it is under a sub-object? It is under a sub-object called AC detail. So dot AC detail. But AC detail is multiple values. So I need AC first, right? This is what we need. But the moment I write this, it will return me the first agent detail. I want the first agent detail, but mapping with its AC name. So $AC name, which equals to this particular variable value. Understand what we have done? I wanted the percentage, the AC per. So AC per, $AC per. Where does this AC per lie? In the company object. Which company object? #AC current company. Is it available directly under #AC current company? No. Then it is under AC detail. Which AC detail you want? I want $AC name equals to, this AC name is nothing but in my AC detail, it is storing my agent name, and the SV agent name is coming from my variable. Mapping the AC name equals to my variable name. The first record which satisfies the given condition. The first record which satisfies the given condition. Obviously, Muthu, why will we give one? Because even when you're taking an interview, the moment you get the first most appropriate candidate, you will hire that person, or will you wait for everybody else? So what we do is, we might have 10 lakhs of objects. Forget about 10 lakhs. The first record which returns me the value based on the given satisfied condition, will you return me the value? Clear? Now let us see the output. Yeah, fine. Muthu has a question. In this case, if the percentage changes later, first commission will be picked up. Muthu, currently we aren't storing based on date criteria, and we haven't given the facility for the user to change the commission percentage. So the question that you are asking is valid, but with the current scenario does not make sense of whether it is a first sale or a last sale. The percentage currently is standard for current period. So in cases where we will have to look for this, then you will have to do calculation based on voucher. So the calculations will be done at the voucher level itself. Understood? In these cases where the percentages changes, the calculations will be done at the voucher level itself. So this is what it is, and we'll align our text to right. Okay, so we'll align it on the right. Right? Fair enough. So are we getting the required things? Right. And the last thing that we need to do is we'll total up the commission value. Now how do we calculate the commission value? How is commission calculated?
Thank you.
Yes. How is the commission calculated? What is the mathematical formula of commission?
Hello. Yes.
What is the mathematical formula?
Sorry? नीलेश बोल रहे हैं मुकेश बोलो Tally sir Tally हाँ जी एक सेकंड
What is the mathematical formula? Come on, everybody can say this simple thing. Absolutely right, Muttu. Now, whatever details you are providing can be converted to TDL. म्यूट पे रख के कर रही हूँ, टेंशन मत लो. It is not my problem. So, as per TDL, what would be our formula? From my TDL, where will I get these values? Hash the field value, that is the amount.
Hello. नीलेश जी बोल रहे
into hash this divide by 100. Now again, this will happen based on board mass, right? So if want to, you can have a rounded factor. This is how it will get opened up. Right? So this is how it will look like. Right. So this is how it will look like. Now, there is another way to get the sales value. That is, I can make use of something called as $$ collection field. There's a function which will help me to get the total values of the sales based on a function. But the reason why we are not using function and we are using the amount field is because the moment I start making use of Alt-R or we start hiding field, then this amount should get changed. Right now I haven't activated those keys here. Now there is a default report called DSP template. There is a report called DSP template. This report has every key that you need to hide your field lines, to unhide your lines, every key, DSP template forms. So whatever keys are generally required will be made available. So you can use those keys. Fine. So in the cases where we want to hide if we are trying to hide a line, that is by using Alt-R, if we are trying to hide a line, then the amount will change automatically. Otherwise, it wouldn't have changed. So that is the reason why we leave that. Clear, everybody? That is the reason why when we have to do total, we are using the interface value and not the object value.
Thank you.
Right? So everybody clear how to do totaling at the bottom line? Very important thing. If you need to do total, the bottom line and the body line both have to be within the same part. Clear? कुछ ज़्यादा ही हो रहा है. Is everybody clear on how to do total? Yes, no? Right? Great. So now you know how to do your totaling. Then we also and along with this we also made a hierarchy report. So what we have created right now is a hierarchy report. Correct? What we created right now is the hierarchy report. We are selecting my agent name here, and by pressing enter we are opening a hierarchy report. Then we made a use of something called as explode to get the details of my inventories. Right now I have only bought the stock item name. If you need, you can add more fields to this particular line and you can get the stock item quantity and the amount if you need. Clear? And the key which identifies shift enter is the function $key explode. मेरी नाक बहुत बहने लग गई. अभी सुबह से तो कुछ नहीं हो रहा था. Clear, everybody? Why do we use key explode? What is the explode attribute? At line level, there is an explode attribute which explodes to a part. The reason why it explodes to a part is because only a part can contain line and has a property of having repeated lines. Because I can have multiple lines, right? Based on my inventories, I can have multiple lines, right? So to do a repeat, I need to have a part. So a part is what a line can explode. So all these are my key enter, shift all, shift key. Right? And then if I say ask to print, it prints accordingly. See? Right? So we talked about tabular report, interactive report, we talk about explode key, exploding to the part. There is another thing that we can have is my explode with the shift key, and I can also provide I can provide condition. Now see, if I don't provide condition, I'm just commenting my key explode. When don't provide conditions, the moment I enter this report, the values will be exploded. So this is an optional parameter. If my user wants the lines to be exploded when he enters, don't give the condition. So shift key explode is just to identify the key explode. Whether the shift enter key is pressed or not. right? So if I have this F12 TDL F4 and I go to this report, everything will be exploded. See this? Right? Clear, everybody? Okay. Then we were speaking about the hierarchy report. So this is what we did. At the main field, the main report, the first report where we are listing the agent's name. Here we have the variable attribute. The variable is volatile variable. Modifying the variable value at field level. When I click enter on this, it should display me another report. So that's what we have done. In this another report, we have identified the variable, locally called it, and at the collection, we have used it for my filtration. Now, till what level can I have this? You can have this till a level you want. There is no such restriction. So now if I want to give it something like when I press enter on this, the voucher should open. Yes, you can give that on. That's not an issue at all. Clear? You can give that. Clear, everybody? Now, coming to columnar reports. Please understand that columnar report is not a rocket science again. If you have understood the basic concept of the skeleton of this entire report meeting, it is completely logical on how to develop a report. Like a report is like a door frame, a form is of the door, the part is like what kind of door do I want? It's a double door, single door, top door, bottom door. Then we have the line that gives me the details of the nameplate. The line is how many lines or how many details do I want on the nameplate. And field is the description on each line of that nameplate. So it's a very, very, very logical thing that we have. So I had a report which had a form, which had a part, which had a line, and which had a field. Then we made it a little interactive. Now when I wanted multiple values vertically, I repeated my line at my definition called part, so that I could have multiple values from that particular collection. So I wrote repeat, colon, line, colon, the collection name. So that's what we did, correct? Now, when we talk about columnar reports, the columnar reports goes horizontal. So, what is that we have horizontal? What is that we have horizontal? No. We have lines that can go vertical, and each line has fields which can go horizontal. We have lines that go vertical, and we will have fields that can go horizontal. Part is basically like a designing or where to place the data. बस मैं म्यूट कर देती हूँ और कुछ but the part can be repeated. It's not that the part cannot be repeated. Part can be repeated, but this is a scenario where we talk about multi-account printing. Part can be repeated within the part. So it's not that part cannot be repeated, part can be repeated. However, the lowest in the hierarchy is what we will basically, when you talk about the values, the horizontal values that you need is actually only one particular field that you need to scroll horizontal, and not the entire part. The entire part never gets repeated. It's only a particular field that you want to have the values of, right? So in our multi-column report, we don't need part repeating. We need field repeating. Okay? So when we are talking about field repeating, now when I want values that can go horizontal, when I wanted values to go vertical, I gave a repeat at my part level for my line, and I said repeat on a collection. So the same line, I can have a repeat on my field, but I cannot have a right field for repetition, so it has to be a normal regular field. A right field cannot be repeated, hence I need a field which can be repeated at line. However, we do not, the values that we will repeat on will be dynamic, so we cannot provide a collection name here. I repeat, the field is repeated at line. The collection at part is why we gave the collection name, because we knew the collection on which it will repeat. However, the same cannot be told about the amount for one simple reason, is because the value that I want here might be on my SV from date to date, or maybe I just want one particular column to just one new column, say for 15 days or 20 days, or I want to just mention my date. So I don't have a fixed column for that, right? So I give repeat on my field. So the line knows that it has to repeat the field, but what will the field repeat on? For that reason, at report level, we'll just have the repetition on my from the date. We'll change the period. So at my report level, I will have repeat on my variable names SV from date and SV to date. Clear? Clear, everybody? Now, when I talk about multi-column report, when we talk about a multi-column report, we have those buttons, right? We have those buttons: add column, new column, delete column. Now, you don't have to create 3 different buttons for that. There is an attribute that we have created. That attribute is what you will have to use at report definition. So at report definition, there is an attribute called column report. And to this column report, now again, the skeleton of this report base is absolutely the same. There is no change in that. The base of this report skeleton is again the same. There is no change in that report form part line field. So we'll just create that quickly. Now we will have two lines because I need one for SV from date and one for SV to date. I need one line for from date and one line for to date. So I will have line, column, SV from, and column SV2. So these are my two lines. Each line will have two fields. One will be short name field. I will use short name field. Another I will use unity. Now at the short name field, it will be for my text. Info from date or I can use short from. And unique date field. I don't need an info at all. I need a set as. Why a set as? I will give the default value #SV from date and modify SV from date. Have you able to understand why I have given this? Why a set as and why a modifies? Set as I'm just using to display the initial value for that particular field. Whatever value I change and I press enter will modify my current SV from date. Similarly, I will do for 2. Small change, the skeleton of the report is absolutely the same. Let's have a refreshment and check. F12 TDL F4. Now we have introduced system variables, so suggested is always quit and restart. Do you see the buttons that are added at the bottom? Yes or no? Everybody, can you see the buttons that I have got added? At form level, I haven't added buttons. It is just the report definition attribute. It is just the attribute that we have at the report definition column report which does this. The first April 2000. Okay, let me just first change here. And I say add a new column April 2013 to March 2014. Now I have two columns. So this is how we can add new columns to the reports. Now, do you have a question here? Muthu, for column total to won't happen automatically. You will have to add another field for that. Okay? This is a very good question. Total column won't add, so generally the total column comes on the right side or the left side. In that case, you will have to add another column. You will have to do it manually. Doesn't happen automatically. So I say Alt C 13, 14 and Alt C 14, 15. So this way we can add as many columns as we want. Another thing that you might want to ask. Right now, whatever values we are showcasing is a single value, right? Right, here. So everything is just into one column, right? All the values are just in one column. What in case I want to show a debit in a separate column and a credit in a separate column? How do we do that? Can I have a comma separated, list for repeating the fields? Can I say repeat field 1, comma, repeat field 2? No, you cannot do that. You cannot have a repeat field 1 and repeat field 2. But what you can do is, in this main field, you can provide the list of fields that you want to repeat on. You can provide list of fields that you want to repeat on. So those many fields will be repeated every time you add new columns. Clear? Then we have the Autocolumns. Autocolumns also work the similar way. However, there is a little change in this autocolumn report. So, what is the difference between the autocolumn reports? Is that, again, I will have to have a repeat field. There is no change in that. Yep. I will need to have this repeat on my variable. This is there. This will always be there whenever you need to have multiple columns. Repeat on the variable name. Now, instead of column report at report level, we will require a button at my form. The action of this button will be autocolumns. Are you noting? Is everybody noting this now? The difference between multi-column and auto-column? If it's a multi-column, there is an attribute that we need to use at the report level. The attribute name is column report, and that new column, add column, and delete column gets created automatically. Those buttons are created automatically, and I can use my SV from date to date to modify my values. Clear? Right. Now, for autocolumns, I will require a button. The action will be autocolumn, which will trigger for another report. This report will have series of lines. Now, when I need to have multiple values to be repeated, we always have the collection that has to work on it. So, in our case, we have the SV from date and to date, which are a part of SV periodicity variable. So what we do is, we will require a table. This table, first column will be the column which we will show to the customer. The rest column, the tables, will be the variable name and the collection name that we want to push, and the variable values that will get modified based on this. Clear? So, when I have an SV variable name and DSP repeat collection. So, there will be a repeat attribute at report definition for the variables to repeat. A button attribute that I will have at the form definition will have an action called autocolumns. This autocolumn action opens a report in an alter mode. This report will have the basic structure as we have. Then there will be, when we give a selection to the user, at the back end, we will require the variable name and the collection that it has to modify. In our case, this is our collection name. So, these are my objects. So, we will just see monthly object. So, the moment my user selects monthly, for my variable SV from date to date will get set. The collection that it has to repeat on has to repeat on period collection will get set, and will modify the collection called DSP repeat collection, which has been used at the variable SV from date as repeat at the variable level.
Hello.
Clear? Then at the form level of my autocolumns, I need to have an attribute called output, and this attribute refers to a field where my variables are getting set. So this flushes out the variables that has to work for my repeat. Clear? Clear, everybody? Yes, no. Can you hear me? Okay. So is it clear how we do this? So you're clear how to create an auto-column report? Then we come to automatic auto-column reports. Now here the number of columns, or basically the collection on which my field should repeat on, is what I will be knowing. It is known. When it is unknown, then we have to follow this method. Now if it is known, I can set all the values at my base collection itself, at my base report itself. So I'll just remove my, what do you say? I'll just remove the reports column. So again, it is my normal regular report that we have. This is the regular report that we have. When I am doing this, I want my values to get repeated based on the criteria that or based on the names that we have. We will start doing a repeat, a clear repeat. I will say repeat my SV from date to date. If you notice, it is already type date, volatile yes, and DSP repeat collection. So the moment the variable you need to repeat, this is required. Okay. I will repeat it on my variables, and because these are related to my period, so repeat on my SV from date and to date. There is a variable do set auto columns. So this set do set auto columns, yes, which indicates the report that the moment you enter, you need to create those columns. Then there is a variable called set DSP repeat collection. This variable is required to understand on which collection should your variables repeat on, which will get flushed to your fields. So I say period collection. So that's the collection we have in default, which takes care of that. Please ensure when you write this, you always check whether we have that collection or not. So period collection. Then these values of this variable should get refreshed, for which we have a dummy option form that you should create. There is again a DUMMY dummy form that we can create. This should have the function called set autocolumns, which takes the name of the variables $, set autocolumns on sv from date, sv to date. So what did I do? I gave a repeat to my report for my variable. My variable has a repeat attribute for another variable. That is just so that we can dynamically push the collection value. If I want, I can hard code the collection value also here. Then, because it has a variable value to be pushed, I am setting the variable value to period collection. Do set autocolumn yes. Now, because it is SV from date to date, I will have to set SV periodicity, because if I say period collection, what is the periodicity that you want to set on? Whether it is a month or SV period. Control J, system variables, SV,
Hello. Speaking. How are you? Correct, right, sir. Okay, I'll just remind him because he was not keeping well. So I'll just remind him and he'll speak to you.
right? If you see, by default, the periodicity is month. So if you want, you can set the periodicity according to your needs. So here it is month. If you want, you can set the periodicity to 3 months, which becomes quarterly. Okay. Now let's have a look. Now I have to create this dummy option. And it's an empty dummy option. I don't want to perform any action, but it's a dummy option just so that my variable values get flushed. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it has got created. And based on this, I can provide another on this main title line, where today I am just providing my current date. I can provide my SV from date and convert it to string. And I will have to change the sleep time. Now, just to ensure that the variable values do not impact your previous screens, that is the other part of your tallies, it is important that you mention these values here. Otherwise, what will happen is, it will impact your entire tally moment the variable values are changed here, because it's a system variable. So we will locally call these variable values, repeat on this, and the moment you hit enter on this, it will change locally. So now just have a system variable, so we'll just refresh it. So right now it is changed my period. So I'll make this 13 to 15. Right? So you see how simple it is to create the column. Please note, if this dummy form isn't created, see, if I don't create this dummy form, the columns won't get repeated at all. So it is important that I have this dummy form. Clear?
Very good. Correct.
See everybody, so what we are doing? So now you understand how do we set columns. So if you want to change the period, we have this variable. To change the SV from date to date, we have this variable. So you can flush this variables out. We have, so the number of variables you want to flush for your refreshment, you can do that. Without the dummy option, the values would not come into columns, which is important. So now you understand how simple it is actually to create it. It is only the logical questions you ask and you get the answer. It's simple. How many lines I want? Multiple lines. So repeat my line on a collection. How many fields I want? Multiple fields. So repeat line on a field. But I cannot give a collection. So I will have to mention my repeat on my variables. So repeat my variables. But then variable, it has to hold the collection name. So at variable, I provide my repeat attribute which takes the collection name. But I do not want to create new variable every time I want to do that job. So I provide a repeat with a variable value, a variable reference. So hash has the variable name. So now the hash has the variable name, at least for this report, has to get set here. So I say set DSP repeat collection and the collection name. The moment I enter this report, I want this report to give me columns. So do set auto column. Yes. To flush the values from SV from date to date to the form so that it gets refreshed every time. Option, dummy option, the function that does the flushing work is the set auto column. And you give your variable names, commas listed, and it flushes the value out. Simple? All logical things. You ask logical questions and you get the output. Clear? Great. Then we did about the printings. We spoke about the collections, the print actions, printing of single form, printing of a new form, page break. Nobody asked me a question here, so I will ask you a question. I am going to my commission page. Just let me remove all this auto columns. I do not want that.
But
Since you didn't ask me this question, I am now going to ask this question. Default, debug, or even I get so many options, whether I want it into narration, I don't want it into narration, this, that, so many things, right? Now when I am going to print my report, it is not asking me those options here. Now say if I want to configure that for myself, then how do I do? You didn't ask me, so now I am going to ask you and tell me how am I going to do that? What? Tell me. How am I going to get or create my own configuration screen? That's the question. How? Where? Then how do I connect it to this report? Create a report. Good. But then I will have to, the created report has to get linked to this printing screen, right? Now how does that happen?
स्ट्रक्चर चेंज हो जाता है रीनेमिंग स्ट्रक्चरल चेंजेस है मीटिंग होईल काय माहिती दिली
Obviously, Ali, there has to be an attribute to attach to the report, and the attribute is nothing but print attribute at print report.
मला काय प्रॉब्लेम नाही मला तर समजेल
Confused?
मार्जिन वाढतो
This is my display report. Everybody agree? This is my display report. Everybody agree? This is my display report. At display report, to my form I give a print, and this prints my report. Now if I provide another print here, this print is my configuration report. If a print report has a print, if a report that has to get printed has a print attribute, that print, this print will be my configuration report. Clear? If a print report has an attribute called print at my form level, then that's the configuration screen. Now clear? Clear or confused? Everybody? Okay, Joseph, just for you. This is the report that I want to print. You are clear about this? In this add form, I have a attribute called print. Correct? This print attribute takes a report name. This report gets printed. Clear? This print reports form, if this has a print, if this form has a print, again it takes a report name, and this report is the configuration report. Clear? Joseph, are you clear now? Yes, no, Joseph? Great. So you can also design your own configuration report, and based on that, with this if-else condition that you get from the variable, you can have your printing. So now there is an option that what you can do is, you at this main report, this is the same report that we'll be printing with the ball repeat and all those things, right? So what you can do is, now say a particular field or a line that you want, say this line, you can give conditions to become or explode here. You can say or $$ in print mode and # whatever variable you have pushed and change in your configuration. Will work. Clear? So there are functions that will identify whether you are in a print mode or you are in a pixel mode or whatever it is. So you see $$ in accept mode, alter mode, append mode, create mode, developer mode, digits, display mode, DMP mode, draft mode, duplicate mode. So the list that we have, whether in export mode, you are into mail action, or you want to do a pixel mode or a preview mode or a print mode. So all these we have. So you can validate it. You can give a validation also while you are printing. Even if this is exploded, you do not want to print. So what you can do is $$ in print mode, remove the explode. You can do that. $$ clear explode and not $$ in print mode. Explode the key and check if it is not in print mode, then only you go ahead. If it is in print mode, don't explode. That also is allowed. So you can validate. Clear? Yes, no, everybody. Then we spoke about page breaks, frequently used attributes, right? And we did speak about these functions, right? Yes, no. Right? Now we move on to the last part of this session, the invoice customization. See, again, this invoice customization or the voucher customization that we talk about, it's again the same skeletons that we have: report, form, part, line and field. There is no change in that. Only thing that you need to understand is the hierarchy. Right? So, we have done voucher classifications. We have accounting vouchers, inventory vouchers, and accounting cum inventory vouchers. When we talk about accounting vouchers, these are those vouchers which have only the ledger information. That is the receipt, the payment, the journal. The one which do not involve inventory at all. Then we have a set of vouchers which talk about only inventory. Something like the stock journal, physical stock, manufacturing journal. These are typically inventory vouchers because they involve only inventory. Then we have accounting cum inventory vouchers, which involve your party or your other ledgers as well as your inventories, which could be your sales orders, purchase orders, sales, purchases, debit note, credit note, all of those. Based on the object structures we have segregated their collections. Accounting vouchers will have ledger entries and all ledger entries. Inventory vouchers will have inventory entries, all inventories, inventory entries in and inventory entries out. And then the accounting cum inventory will have ledger entries, all ledger entries, inventories and all inventory entries. So these are the sub-collections that each voucher object structures will carry. And this is how a basic structure of a voucher will look like. The voucher structure, the basic hierarchy of a voucher structure, typically when we talk about most of the time the invoice customizations that people look for or the customers of Tally look for is for sales invoice. And when we talk about sales invoice, this is how the basic hierarchy will look like. The topmost level 1 will have voucher, which will have level 2 sub-collections, inventory entries and ledger entries. At the sales invoice that we have, will have 2 levels. We'll have 2 collections at level 2. Inventory entries and ledger entries. They will be at the same level. Then we will have user description at inventory entries and batch allocations at level 3. For ledger entries, we will have bill allocations and cost category allocations, and then we will have cost center allocations. A frequently asked question: I haven't activated cost category at all. Then do we still have to follow the hierarchy? Yes. Technically, yes. The hierarchy will have cost category, and you cannot do trespassing directly to cost center from ledger entries. User will not see the cost category, but the hierarchy has the cost category and you will have to follow the hierarchy. So whenever a cost center is activated, even though the cost category is not activated, the basic value will be primary cost category. hierarchy clear to everybody? Hello, can you hear me now? So, are you clear with the hierarchy? So, we will just look into the tally. This is the base object voucher. This is a voucher object. This is inventory entries. This is batch allocation. We also have something called as additional description for items. And since we can add multiple values, and batch allocation. So do you notice the descriptions and the batch allocations that we have, both are for inventory entries. So as per the structure, the base object is voucher, which has inventory entries. Inventory entries have user description and it has batch allocation. Then I can have one more inventory entry. Batch allocation. Then after the inventories are done, in case we have to provide certain ledger entries for the discount or packing charges, say I have some packing charges and that is say 5% of the total cost. Apart from that, I want to provide some discount because it's a cash on the cash payment. So I give them some 3% discount, and then I have a rounding of ledger, which I say 0.04 to make it a rounded value, and this is my bill allocation under my ledger entries. Accepted. So this is how the structure of this will look like. So is everybody clear with the voucher object structure? Govande. Santosh. Under the. Is the structure clear to everybody?
So now what I do,
right? So this is what is the voucher structure that we have. Now, when we talk about the customization, there are two things that we have. One is the voucher format. The voucher format, that is the traditional entries that we have, the debit and the credit entries. Most of the users today are using invoice format because then if it's a debit credit entry, you need to calculate the values. When we talk about invoicing, the calculation of the values happen automatically. Fair enough? So via voucher customization, we can add fields, we can remove fields, we can change the default behavior, we can give more subform, we can provide more subform, we can remove subform, we can alter the current behavior of a column or a line. Everything can be done. You can just remove the entire form and provide a new form. That's up to your choice, right? So here on these are some, what do you say? These are some theoretical part of it. Right? So we'll actually not follow the theoretical things and we'll just do little practicalities of it. So, first of all, we'll come to the original form of this and we'll just print the name of the sales executive. Alt P, tax invoice. This is all the details I have. Here somewhere at the somewhere here I will print the name of my salesperson. Okay, so how do I know what is this form? How do I know what is this form? So I need, now the print report always comes from a form. So Control J, form, and what form is that? Voucher. So I go to voucher. And I will keep checking something that gives me a familiarity to the print. So I do not see any print here, but I do see there are some lot of options and switches available here. And some of the switch talks about something called as VCH type color, and it talks about sales color, but it is talking about sales voucher type, and it's not a POS invoice. So let us just check, validate. So this is my form. So let us just validate, is this the form that we are looking for? Okay. So we'll just add a new form to this. Invoice printing. So we'll do hash form. Now there are we are just trying to identify what it is, right? So one, we'll change the background color to red, and I am not sure whether it is for printing or it is for the display. So I will also change its print color, that's the print BG, to green. The reason we are giving two different colors is, at one shot we'll identify whether we are hitting the right target or not. So we say invoice now we'll just refresh this. Now if you see, the color has changed to red. That means the sales color form that we have modified is for the display. Let us check if we are printing what is happening. Is it turning green? It isn't turning green. That means the form that we have targeted is for the display. So now I need to target it for my print. And I know that there is a print attribute at this form that will help me to reach that form. So printed invoice. So this is the report that actually I am looking for, and this report is having a printed invoice form. Obviously I want to change the background color and validate, right? But if you see, there's a lot of options here again. So each option name, it will help you to identify what kind of printing it will go for. So this talks about excise trader invoice. This talks about trader commercial. This talks about trader simple. This is an excise manufacturing. This is a purchase voucher print. Comprehensive invoice. Alt P F12. I have something called a simple format, and then there is something called a comprehensive format. We can keep this aside and check. Apart from this, I don't see anything else that helps me to, anywhere nearby to my requirement. So we'll just try to change the background color of this particular invoice. So okay, so let us check how it works. Oh, great. I have reached my target. But we have to ensure that this comprehensive invoice, whatever change I make here, shouldn't impact any other report or any other print in case it is not my sales invoice, right? We should identify that, correct? Yes or no? Shouldn't we identify that? So what we will do is, there are a lot of things that you will have to search. So right now we have just targeted for my invoice, right? And my entire invoice is green. I want to place my salesman name in this empty block. So let's start searching for this area. Comprehensive invoice. It has a lot of parts here. Standard invoice, opening break, and INV details. INV details should be this. So let us just check what is my INV details. But why should we start from the last? Let us start from the first part, which says standard invoice top. So we'll change the background color of this part and check, are we at the right place? We'll change it to blue. Okay, there is an error, it seems. Hash path. Oops. Okay. Alt P. Okay. Hasn't changed my top color. Let me just check what are things available here. Okay, all the fields in this particular line is invisible and the part itself is invisible. So this is of no use to us. So let us go for the next thing. It is this part. Let us check. Does that help me? Great. So my top part is what I got. I've hit the right part now. In this part again I have three parts. One is the title, one is talking about the leading, and one is talking about the column. Okay. Now when I talk about title, I think could be this. When I talk about leading, could be this, and INV column could be this, because that's what I understand with the name. However, I will ensure that I look into it what each part gives me the output. So it gives me voucher time, voucher title, and GST number. So definitely this is not what I'm looking for, because it is giving me the time and title details. INV leading. Okay, this looks a little complicated and could be what I want. Okay, it has a top left and a top right. Okay, it's top left, top right. I want it on the right hand side, right? So go here. Let us just change the color of this part and check. And we'll change this blue to yellow. Oh, great. So I'm reaching the destination. Top right has other parts. Okay. Basic info, INV info, and some nature process it has. Okay. Terms generally get printed here, right? And let's see, which part that I am targeting for is correct. Okay, I haven't hit the right part. Basic info. Okay, so I'm hitting the right part, but there could be a possible thing that this particular part could be in an invisible mode, due to which I am not able to check the color. Possible, right? Let us have a look what is available at the start. It's given some subtitle, it is given some terms, and it is saying invisible for some reason. There is a reason for it to become invisible. Okay? So if it is invisible for a reason, that is the reason why my background is not giving me a color. So what do we do? This place, there is no place to print the name of my, my agent. Here there is a little place here as my INV terms. I can do that, but it is invisible. What we can do is, first what we will do is, we'll make it invisible no. So at least we can see it on the screen and come to know what is happening. Correct? Am I right? Are you able to get? So, right? So at least I'm getting this. Correct? Now what we will do is, we will add a line to beginning of this. And you know which line I will add? I will not create new line and everything. What I will do is, I will use the same line where I have displayed this. This line. Why? Because anyway, same thing wants to get printed, no? And I will say set as, obviously, because in print mode set as is required, right? Okay, let's see how does it work. You see? This is what I wanted, right? And another thing that we can do is this particular line. Sorry. In my invoice printing, this is the line that I'm doing, right? What I can do is I can give a border, thin bottom, $, in print mode. So only if it is in print mode, you give me a border. Otherwise, I don't want a print mode. So let's see. Same thing for rest of the lines in this part. I will say localize them. Specifically to these two lines. Line this. And whatever invisible condition we have at the default, we'll simply copy paste. That's it. Done. Understood? Shahid, why are you so late? Shahid, why are you so late? Everybody, are you able to understand what we have done? Thomas? Thomas, are you clear? This is one of the modification we have done here, and we triggered to this particular form. Now say you wanted to add a completely you wanted to add a gate pass to this. Generally, when you want to when there is a sales invoice raised and there are multiple items that you require from a godown, what generally people do is the details of the batch allocation of the item is what is printed on the page. That's a gate part. Okay. So what we will do is, along with the sales invoice, I am saying along with the sales invoice, we will print a gate pass. Okay. So where will I give the print attribute? Sales color or comprehensive invoice? Where will I add print? Because along with the current print, I also want to have the gate pass as my print. What happened to everybody else? Why only Thomas is responding? I should provide a print to my sales color because that is what is visible on my screen. Comprehensive invoice is the printed invoice, Thomas. So comprehensive invoice, if I give print, then the configuration screen will get changed. Okay. Along with the comprehensive invoice, after printing the comprehensive invoice, I want to print the gate pass. Clear? Understand what we are trying to do? So we provide a print at my sales color and I'll give the name as gate. Now this is nothing but a report name, form, part, line, field, and the status. Now this is only a test that we are doing, so we just give a rough skeleton to see how it comes. Okay, so yes, that's how I wanted it to come. Title, now I want to get the details, the batch details of all the inventory entries. The batch details of all the inventory entries. So, first thing that you have to do is object context at a report has to be voucher, because without having an object context at report level, you cannot change your object context, right? So, report level, we have an object context voucher. Now, how do I identify at this field what is the current object of this field? See, at times when you keep changing your object contexts, you might not know what is your current object context. So there is a function which is $type. This helps you to identify which is the current object type, what is the current object context of the field. Now let's have a change. We'll see the change. F12 TDL F4. And we'll remove the initial other colors because they look very poor. Okay. See, current object context is voucher. Now I want values from the batch allocation. Now if I write repeat my line on my inventory entries, then I'll get the inventory details. What I want for the batch allocations for all the items. So how do I do it? In this case, we will have another part repeat my part on inventory entries. This is a little new concept that we are doing. This part will contain line gate path, and this will be repeated on batch allocation. Understood why we are doing a repeat part on inventory entries and a repeat line on batch allocations? Everybody, this is to everybody. Right? Then now at this level, we can check what is the current type first. Okay, I need to give scroll. Right. So you see we have two lines for batch allocation. I'll just do one thing, since this might confuse you, because even we have two lines for items. I will add one more batch over here. And not applicable, and from main location test. Good. You see, though we have two item names, we have three lines here because we have three batch details. Clear? Now we'll give name, that is the stock item name. We'll say STK item name. Do we have this? I hope not. Shayad not exactly like explode. See, what happens in explode is it shows my inventory line on the top and then it shows my batch breakup. Here I am repeating a part on the inventory entries and directly repeating my lines on my batch allocation. So what happens is I don't waste an additional line on showing the inventory details. That is the whole funda. Then STK batch name. I hope we don't have this. Okay. Then STK batch duty, right? I will not provide my rate here because it does not matter to my go down person, what is the rate I'm selling and what is the value. What matters is the item name, the batch name, and its quantity. Okay, so dollar stock item name, comma, sorry, use name field, and then to this batch name, oops, batch name and STK quantity, QTY field, this will be build QTY. See, there are two things. One is built QTY and one is actual QTY. Whenever it's a gate pass, it will be actual QTY, because there is a possibility that the billing, that the actual quantity you are giving to this person is 10, but the billed quantity will be 8 for the reason you might be giving some free quantities or some free details to it. So you always have to use the actual QTY when it is a gate pass, when it is related to inventory. Now let's have a look at the output. F2 serial F4. Here. See the output we have? Clear, everybody? Now obviously, yes, you can make it better by giving a title line to it. And these are my fields. And I will just localize them and change the values. First of all, whenever I have local fields for my title, default text type will be string, style, normal, bold, then line 0. Always on the safer side, delete storages. This is in case we are reusing some field which we have in the alter report or the create report or the display report, and we have storages. This might give error when it comes to the print mode, so it's always on the safer side to give type, style, line, delete storages, any other text, align, center, and borders you need. Say border I have, and I say thick bottom, and my output changes. After the left for and data all 3 6 statement. Yes. Oh, there's some. Okay, I forgot to give the sentences. Colon field colon info item name batch name quantity. Yes. This is one thing that you might face because we're having a repeat part. So we will have to provide a title line here. Sorry, a title part here. Yes. Understood why we are not giving that title line at the part level, at this part level, and we're giving a title line here? Great. Here it has line and it has my total things. Now please understand the difference why we have this done. Otherwise the entire purpose of gets defeated of why we having a repeat part. Clear, everybody? The part in which we have a repeated part cannot have multiple parts. The part in which we have a repeat part cannot have multiple parts. Hence, you will have to provide the title line, then the part in which we have a repeated part, and then the line and all those details. Clear? And actually, this is the end of our session. That's all we have for a customization. So as I told you, there is nothing very different that we can do. The only difference of printing that we have is the repeat part that we can do. So now if you have questions, you need to shoot that. Muthu, why Rachna has not joined in? No, Thomas. Today is the last session. I didn't knew that you love my session so much that you still want to continue with this. Okay, I have a question here from Thomas. Can we create TDL to log on to one company in TDL? That's in Tally. In Tally, you can create multiple company. I want it TDL to work only one company in Tally. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible, but practically speaking, one thing that you can do is you can hard code for the company name. You can hard code for a company name. Yes, you can do that. Hard code for a company name. So what we have done is the base option itself, this option that we have given, here itself you can say invisible. Then should this be invisible? Is #SV current company is not equal to whatever the name you want to give. If this base option itself does not activate, my entire module that I have is dependent on this condition. If this condition itself I cannot say yes, automatically the rest things will fail. Very important, Thomas, this point made me remind of informing you about one thing. When I give this, I can also give a condition, print colon the report's name colon dollar this in this print. For this, you can say option gate pass print when this value from my company #SV current company. Only if you do this is sufficient, because anyways this will return a logical value, and I will have an option from here. Done? Okay, one other question which I missed out. Joseph asked, how are you going to test us? Why should I test you? I don't think I am the right person to test you. However, I am the person who can judge the things on where you need improvement, and that's the reason I keep asking you to send me your TDL so that I can help you to improve, I can help you to push yourself. So Joseph, I actually am not the right person to give a test to you, but I would be very glad if every one of you at least try to develop the this module that we have created and send it to me. Ali has a question. Why have you not written form gate pass at the report level of gate pass? I think this was the the second day session question, Ali. By default, if I do not provide a form name at my report, then it starts looking for a form by the same name. So if my report name and form name is same, I can skip writing a form attribute at report level. However, since we are at a very beginning stage and learning stage, it is always suggested you do this. Okay, wait. I have another question here. Joseph is asking me, are you available to assist us when facing practice? Yes, Joseph, I am giving from today, I am giving you 15 days to ensure that you get in touch with me to clear your doubts. So till 25th of November, excluding Saturdays and Sundays, you can get in touch with me to resolve your difficulties. Later on, you will have to purchase a Tally Developer license, and you can contact our support desk to get further help. Shahid says we can repeat batch allocation, then inventory, because batch names same multiple item like first line batch number, item 1 quantity 10, item 2 quantity 20, second line batch. Sorry Shahid, I am not able to get your question. If you can just repeat the question, I'll be glad to do that. First line batch 1, item 1 quantity 10, second line item 2 quantity 20, and second line batch 02, item 1 quantity 5, item 2 quantity. Shahid, I'm not very sure what you're talking about, but just correct me if I am wrong. One thing, two items cannot have same batch numbers, especially if they are of different categories. For an example, if I am in a selling of a pen and a pencil, they cannot have same batch name. So batch 001 for item 1 and item 2 and the quantities, I don't think what you're talking is feasible. In that case, the other way around, item 1, batch details, item 2, batch details, yes, that is possible with the help of Explode. I hope I have understood your question. Shahid, how can you have a repeat batch and then the inventory? Because does not make a sense, as I told. Batch generally, as far as I know about the batches, I cannot have same batch number for same items. For two different items, I cannot have same batch name. So repeat on batch and then the inventory does not make sense. Moreover, the structure of Tally does not allow you to do that, because as per the voucher structure, voucher, inventory and batch. Okay, so that's what the basic voucher structure. I think probably you missed that part of the session. So that's the voucher structure we have. Voucher has inventory, has batch allocations. Voucher has ledger entries, bill allocations. Voucher has ledger entries, cost category and category allocation. So that's the structure that we discussed. So please ensure that you listen to the recording of this session probably 4 times, 5 times till you understand the voucher structure. Yes, anything else? Any other question? Muthu, don't have a question? Today is the last day of session when we can actually speak with each other. Later on, might be only through mail. So please ensure we still have 30 minutes to go to close this session. Shahid, how can we write function? Are you talking about the TDL procedure? The user-defined functions? Shahid, are you talking about the user-defined functions? Shahid, for user-defined functions is the advanced part of the TDL. Whatever we have done are the basic things. So first of all, this is the ABCD of TDL. Only after you know how to write an ABCD is when you will start understanding the dictionary, right? So writing of functions will be a gradual evaluation of your knowledge when you start writing the basic TDL first. Right? So probably you will need some practice for first writing the basic TDL, and then you can refer to the TDL reference manual where we have given details of functions. And then you can start learning on your own how to write a function. Right? Ali, Joseph. Ali, I understand with the kind of questions you are asking me that you have been a developer for quite some time, and this is just like a refresher and conceptual clearance for your TDL, if I am not wrong. Right, Ali? So, Ali, at least can I expect you to give me the commission kind of module that we have created during our session, covering every part of whatever we have done? Right? We can do that? Great, Ali. So probably, I mean, you need to ensure that you cover the multi-column report and auto-column report, everything into it. Everything has to be a part of it, right? And very important thing for the developers, whenever you create a TDL, only creation of TDL is not sufficient. Please ensure that you give aiding provisions to your customers. That's the user manual, the presentation, and ensure that you take a work completion certificate from your customer to avoid future conflicts. It is whether you're working under somebody or you are a direct partner, I am not aware and what kind of procedures you follow, but it is very important that whenever you are delivering a code to a customer, you always provide a user manual, a presentation which covers the problem statements and what is available in default Tally, and a presentation how to enable your module, how to go about it, what all things it can do, and all those details. And you give some trial period, say for 10 days or something, and later on then you take a work completion certificate. That's a general process that every developer should follow, which is very important. Right? I don't know how far everybody is doing it, but it is important. Moreover, please ensure that your coding has a coding standard. And if you can look at my files, I have given them numbering so I know the flow that it is following. 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. It's not just because it is good for me, but it's always better when you have to troubleshoot in future. With the numbering of the files, I know what kind of flow to go. Only when the flow is, when you cannot have a flow properly, is when you cannot give a numbering to the file. Fine. Question from Shahid. Tally provide any advanced training? Shahid, I cannot... Again, today we do not have any scheduled trainings, so I cannot say yes or no, but yes, there are some plannings coming up for delivering some kind of advanced trainings, but then that would be topic-wise. So currently I cannot even say yes or no, but yes, it's a part of the future. It's in the part of the future streamline. Shahid, before you even think about moving to the advanced training, it's a humble request that I have to you is, please provide me this module with your presentation. That's very good that you already know the basic. So, if you know the basic, please provide me the module. And currently, we do not have advanced training scheduled, but when we have, we'll definitely let you know. Don't worry. Any other question? Muthu, why Rachna is not online today? Okay. Probably I got confused with two Muthus on the same session. Okay. Any other questions? We still have 15 minutes. Please shoot your questions. These are the last 15 minutes we have for the session. So how many of you have tried this out? Print configuration report. Okay. Something went wrong here. Ali, I'll just get back to you on this. I need to check why this is not working. I'll take this and come back to you. Anything else? Oh, thank you, Shahid. It's a great compliment that we get from a trainer when we say you have enjoyed the training session. I am expecting you to send me the module, and that would be a great reward to me when you send me the module. Right, Shahid? I expect everybody to send me the module. That's a great reward to me. Anything else? So I give everybody 15 days time. Come back to me, complete your module, ask your questions, right? And we do have a support desk. The email ID is support.developer@tallysolutions.com. This is the support desk that we have for developers. You can contact the support desk for your queries post 25th November. The criteria is you need to have a valid Tally developer license, so submission time to buy your license. Yes, till 25th November, so that's what I said. Till 15th of November, from today 15 days, that is 25th of November. Till 25th of November, you can contact me through email and I'll definitely try to solve your queries. Shahid, will you provide us with TDLs? Yes, Shahid, I will be providing TDLs to only those people who have been regularly attending the session. So yes, since you have been attending regularly, you will get the TDL. How much for the developer license? You need to check the website, or you can just contact the nearest regional office for that. We have two flavors, single user and multi-user. Please check the commercials with the nearest regional office. Or you can check it on our website also. Thank you, Joseph. So I expect you to at least send me your first module by 25th of November with the presentation and the manual. Thank you, Joseph. Any other questions, clarifications you need? Any suggestions do you have to give me to conduct these sessions? Joseph, I have been into TDL for 10 years, so yes, 10 years is a good time to know the system. So it's only with the experience that you can learn. There will be a lot of things that you will discover on the fly, and you might come back to me telling it, and that could be a discovery for me too. So that's absolutely okay. Anything else? Okay, thanks, Joseph. Bye. Have a nice day. Fine. So in case you don't have questions, we can start closing the session for the day. And here we close our training session. Thanks, Ali. Bye. Sorry, Shahid, I didn't understand. I want you what TDL for all means. My mail ID is ratna.bhatt@tallysolutions.com. Haven't you been receiving my emails for reminder of webinars? Thank you, Muthu. Bye. Have a nice time. Definitely we'll see you soon. Shall we close the session now? So you're the only one left now. I shall receive it in a short while, not an issue. Okay, Shahid? Yeah. Thank you. Bye.